welcome you to this video. I would like to take you through how you can file for your employment income tax return in case you had income originating from Treasury Bill and Board and also from consulting services, which technically attract different interest rates, where the income from Treasury Bill and Board attracts interest of 15% to 10%, where interest from consulting services and management services above the amount of 24,000 attract an amount of withholding tax of 5%. So with no much ado, let us get started. So what you're supposed to do, just get into the iTax portal and then enter your KRA password here. Then click continue. So when you get into this interface, just ensure that the correct PIN is input here. Then input your password and do a simple mathematical computation, which is here, giving us a value of 153 minus 12, giving us 141. Then this is just a security stub. Then log in. So when you log in into the KRA interface, it looks like this. So let me click no here. I want to close these shells which are giving me problem here. Okay, when you get into this interface, what you're supposed to do basically, just come to where we have file returns. Come to where we have file returns. Then when you come to where we have file returns, what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to choose type a self. The tax PIN is this one. The tax obligation is income tax resident, and then click next. So I've updated this file tax for that period. That's why mine here, the type of return is appearing as amended, but in most scenario is usually original. So enter your KRA return period from here, which date back from 1st January 2025 to 31st December 2025. So you can use the manual Excel format in case you have your PIN and form, or you can use the download auto-populated IT. I use this because I want to show the adjustment of consulting services income and the income originating from T-bill and T-boards. So just hit download and then click OK. So it has downloaded. So it have downloaded a zip file. So just come at the file explorer and come at the downloads and show you how you are supposed to open this file. So you can notice that this file is a zip file which you have downloaded here. So you get a lot of macro blockages when you try to open this file directly by just extracting it. So I usually recommend before you open this document, ensure you click above that document, come to where we have properties, come to where we have unblock, click apply and click OK. After doing that, come above that document again and choose to extract. So when you extract that document, it will extract an Excel sheet. So this sheet is the one which you are supposed to click above it and open it with Microsoft Excel, not WPS Office. When you open with WPS Office, you shall not be able to edit this document further. So I had already opened my document here. So just click OK. So you notice because I have downloaded the auto-populated ITR, the basic information, the income is already auto-populated here. As you can see, all the information which you usually insert here is already auto-populated. But you notice about the concept, if I have any other income rather than employment income, it is not populated. So this is what we need to do it manually by inputting the relevant data. You can see under the employment income, the total employment income is inserted here. You can notice under the EMP detail of the pay deducted is already input, and the tax computation is already computed for me automatically by the Revenue Authority. But let us now do the adjustment for the withholding tax originating from interest from T-bill and T-board, and also the income originating from consulting and management services. But this time we'll be assuming it was above 24,000, which is subject to withholding tax of 5%. So let us get started. So in order to do the adjustment, you just need to come to where we have the question, do you have any other income other than employment income? Under this section, I'll choose yes. So when I choose yes, you have noticed that there are some additional sheet which have been added here, which is the P&L and the balance sheet. So we shall start with the adjustment in the balance sheet, which is technically simple, and then balance sheet again. So when you come here, where we'll be doing our adjustment is where we have the gross turnover of professional consultancy services. So as we notice, our income was originating from the first income from our withholding tax certificate is originating from government board, which we usually call T-board and T-bills, because T-bills are less than 6 months and board lasts for more than a year and can move up to 10 years. So when you come here, you have the gross transaction which you made. So regardless of the withholding tax certificate which you are having, in case you are having 10 withholding certificates which the transaction took place in the year 2025, you are supposed to do the reporting. So, but as per now, I'm assuming we only have one withholding certificate. So just take that amount. In case you had to, you could aggregate the amount from the first withholding certificate and the amount from the second withholding certificate. So, no much ado, let us get started. So I'll take this amount of 84,220 and input it here in the Excel sheet. So it is 84,220, which was interest. So ensure you input this amount under the gross profession or consultancy turnover. So it was 84,220. So from there, I earned some commission from consulting services. So that commission is given by this withholding tax certificate, as you can see. And I know it is not that clear, but I'll try and maximize it a little bit and make it more clearer. So let me adjust it a little bit to around 88. So you can see this originated from consulting services, which was an amount of 25,353, which is here. And you can see the withholding tax was 5%. So it is 25,553. So it was subject to withholding tax since it was exceeding the set threshold of 24,000. So it is 25,353. So 25,353. So here you are supposed to insert this amount. You are not supposed to aggregate it with the interest. You are supposed to put it under the commission, since this is a commission which you earned. So it is 25,353. 25,353. Then hit enter. So you notice, based on the recent tax proposal or tax act which is in operation now, any expense which we were deducting these incomes, more so the operating expense, since that is where we were able to offer relief for the income which we generated, it will not be possible this year because of the new KRA regulation, which is regulating the expenses which you are supposed to deduct for any income. So any expense which you'll be using to net off the interest which you earn from the board or bill, from treasury boards, or any commission which you earn from management and consulting services, you will not be able to offer any expense which was not validated via eTIMS. So in case your expenses were not validated via eTIMS and you don't have actual receipts which you can do manual upload in the iTax portal and offer the relief of the income or adjust them against your income which you earned, your income will be taxed as gross. So as we know, the withholding tax, which is subject to interest and commission, is not a final tax. It's just an advance tax paid by the government for interest was amount of 15% and for commission was an amount of 5%, but is an advance tax to the government, but you must declare it when doing your final returns at the end of the year. So after doing that, no adjustment you'll be able to do here. But in case you had manual receipts which you have kept, which you can net off the amount of the tax liability which you have, you can come and net them off in this section. Here we have non-eTIMS / TIMS expenses. So how do you do that from the KRA portal site so that you can be able to adjust that amount here? So I'd like to demonstrate it very simply. we shall just get back to the iTax portal, come to where we have return, come to where we have income tax return adjustments, and come to where we have manual and non-items invoices. After doing that, you're supposed to choose the period, which is 2025. Then you need to click next. Okay. When you click next, you shall come here and download a comma saved value, which is CSV file. Click here. So when it is downloaded, you can open it. So it will be opened in this section. So you come here. So these are the details. Don't adjust anything in the upper part, but I'm just doing this to show you what you are supposed to fill here, so that you can claim for the expenses. So let me maximize here. So for the scenario of the consultancy income, maybe you incur some bus fare or fuel cost. So in case you fuel your vehicle, you need to be getting the receipt from anywhere. You put the supplier TIN here, the name of the supplier, the invoice number, the invoice date, the description of the invoice, and the invoice amount. So when it comes to the T-bill and T-board, maybe you had an agent who you paid. You are supposed to be getting their TIN number, their name. You are supposed to tell them to be invoicing you to get the amount from you, the invoice date, and so on and so forth. So in case you have all those receipted who are being invoiced as the taxman had proposed last year, you just enter all the receipts here, regardless the number and the total amount. Then you come here and save the document. Save it after entering all those details. So you should just come here, choose the document which contains all that information, come here, upload it. Then it's not over. You create a zip file where you will upload all the supportive documents supporting the adjustment which you want to do for the income which you earned. Upload them here and submit. And now the amount which you have uploaded here, you can come here and be able to adjust. If it was 30,000, 40,000, you can come here and do the necessary adjustment, and it will accept to, maybe you have done an adjustment maybe of 10,000 here. So let me confirm the sheets again, what they are representing. So maybe you have done an adjustment here where we have interest, which is sheet F, and G where we have commission. You should just do the adjustment. So it was other sheet is here. Do the necessary, adjust the amount which you have uploaded with the manual method from those sheets, and then you can submit. So for each, maybe it is for consulting services, differentiate them, put them here and here, and do the necessary adjustment. So from that point now, after doing that in the P&L, because we are not being able to offer any adjustment of the expense unless it's substantiated or validated via items, what we need to do, we need to come under the balance sheet. So under the balance sheet, since this in most cases it is done by a lot of people as sole proprietors, so at the balance sheet which we can be able to adjust, I know you don't have clear data of your expense and your liabilities. So what you need to do, you can come to where we have other asset, input value 1. Since from basic accounting, your asset must be equal to your liabilities. So you need to go to drill down to where we have liabilities, and where we have liabilities, which is where we have other loans, you are supposed to input value 1 again, and now our asset and our liabilities now equals to each other. So let me adjust something here. Let me adjust this window. Okay. We need to come at our P&L. You can notice our income was already out of field and our pay deducted. So we need to drill now back to the last sheet now, which is the tax computation sheet. So under the tax computation sheet, you notice that I have my annual personal relief. So what you need to adjust from this section in your case, so this is just a demo video. So what I'll be able to adjust in this section in your case now is the withholding tax credit. So what is withholding tax credit? In most cases, it will be auto-populated here in your case, since you already had those withholding tax transacted using your KRA portal and generated by the taxman. But in this scenario, the withholding tax credit, it is the amount of tax credit which you are given by government to reduce your tax liability because of the advanced tax payment which you had already done. As you can remember, you had already done an advanced tax payment by paying 15% from the Treasury Bill and Board and 5% from the consulting and management services. So what are you supposed to do? So the withholding tax credit is the aggregate amount of these 12 of these of these 12,633. So it is 12,633. So I can get my calculator from these. Okay, just a minute. I drew down my calculator. So it is 12. It is 12,633. So this is the amount of the advanced tax which was paid by the payer or the person who was paying you this amount already remitted 15% of that amount to the revenue authority. We add the amount which was 5% which was withheld from the consulting services of 1268. 1268, getting the total amount of withholding tax credit which you are supposed to offer as let me copy this amount. So getting the amount of withholding tax credit is 12,901. So come here and come under the Excel sheet and input this amount here. So as you can see, this is the amount of withholding tax credit which is here. So this is because it was an advanced tax. So my personal relief is overstated since I worked for just 2 months or one, technically like a month. So come here and adjust it with the required amount of the, how do we call it, of the annual personal relief. Since this is already overstated, I just work for very little months here. So like 3, 4, I'm not sure, but I just work for very few months. So I can give it, I think if annual relief is 2,400, that's why it is overstated in my case. I want to make it at least look logical. So I can put, I think they were maximum 3 months, so it is 2,400, which is the relief for a month. I think around 3 months is 7,200. I think we can maintain it there. Or basically, if it give us problem, we can let me assume I didn't get any relief, since even the income which I earned for that period did not qualify for any tax. So from that now, in your case, you offer your relief and so on and so forth. I just wanted it to sound somehow logical in our case here. So I'll just validate these sheets if I'm good with what I have done. So when you validate this sheet now, this will generate to you a zip file, which you can now be able to upload it in KRA and submit to the revenue authority. But the disclaimer is that you will not be able to adjust any expense, like how you are deducting legal expense, in case that expense is not validated via eTIM. So any invoices or any income which you will be receiving, or any expense which you will be incurring, or any person you will be paying, you're supposed to be requesting them to be invoicing you or allowing you to be able to reverse invoice them, so that you remain tax compliant, and so that you can keep good bookkeeping, so that in the end of the year you can be able to be doing your tax adjustment properly. So the sheet are ready to be downloaded. So you're supposed to come here, so you can check what you're supposed to do. You check the date. So today is on 21st April. You check the time, so it is at 6:55, and this is the TIN number. So you click OK, So after doing that, basically, you are supposed now to get back to the iTax portal, come to where we have return, come to where we have file return. Then you're supposed to do the same thing. Come under the tax obligation, choose income tax resident and click next. So I can click OK. So under the return period, I'll just come here, which is from 1st January 2025 to 31st December 2025. I'll come here, choose the return I want to file, which is here under the document. This is the sheet which we have worked on now. Do you have a rental property? In my case, no, and you agree. But yours here will be original, and then you shall hit submit, and it shall go through. So that is technically the method which we are using to file our income tax in 2026. In case you have withholding tax certificate, which is subject withholding income, which is subject to withholding tax, and also income from treasury bill and bonds, which are also subject to withholding tax as a rate of 5% and 15% respectively. So thank you for watching this tutorial. In case you have any query, you can submit it using my contact and also using